Hi beautiful viewers, welcome to Tali's Closet. I'm Jessica Talita and my dream is to be able to sew absolutely anything. Now if this is your dream too, or even something closely related, please join, subscribe, like, please join the family, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can always get more of our videos and we will achieve this dream together, trust me. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video. So with me here, I have my fabric on fold. I've gone ahead to take my basic body's measurement on the other side of the fabric as well. I took my round armhole measurements or chest measurements, then my bust point, my underbust, my waist measurements, and then I added 0.5 inches allowance to join with the bottom part of the dress. Now for the dart, I'll go ahead and measure my nipple to nipple point divided by 2, or the round waist divided by 4 and then divided by 2 again. Then I'll just rule a straight line through that, and on the side closer to the middle I'll take 0.5 inches and on the other side I'll take 2 inches. I'll take this on the underbust line as well and just rule a straight line through that. Next, I'll come with my curved ruler and connect that like you see me do to the bust point line, still on the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 mark on the bust point. Now I'll come to my shoulder and the neck width I'll be using is 3.5 inches. I'll come down on the shoulder line by 1 inch and I'll divide the rest of the measurements by 2 and mark it there. I'll come up by 1 inch on that point and then I'll just connect it to the bust dart as you can see me do. Next, I'll take my waist measurement divided by 4 and my bust measurement as well, and I'll just connect this with my curved ruler like so. So I'll be adding back what I took for my dart. For the waist I added 2 inches and then for the chest I added about 1/4 inch, and then I'll just connect that with my ruler. I also came down by my shoulder slant and connected my armhole curve like this. After doing this, I just turned the paper around and transferred my basic body measurement over to the other side. So now I've done that and I will be taking the neck measurement, which is the same 3.5, and I'll come down by my 1 inch shoulder slant and connect. Now I'll be cutting out some excess paper I have. So I'll open that up and this is what I have. I'll label my left and right so I don't get confused. At the left I went in by 1 inch and at the right by 0.5 inches. Now at that point I'm going to come down by 6.5 inches. I marked 7 here but I later changed it to 6.5 because I do not want it to be too deep and to reveal the bust. So I just went down by 6.5 inches. I'll just give it a little curve. You can decide to make this straight if you want, but I just curved mine a bit with my ruler. Once again, you can decide to make this neckline straight, or I'm just going to manipulate my curved ruler here and try to give my neckline a sort of curved shape, not too curvy, but I do want it to have a curved shape, so I just did that with my ruler. So I'll go ahead and cut my neckline out. I cut out the shoulder slant for the right side before putting it back on fold and then cutting the side as well as the armhole. For the underbust dart, I went down from the bust line by 1 inch and I just ruled a straight line through and I marked that out. I'll cut through that, making sure I do not get to the princess dart point so it won't cut off when I later cut that out. I'll remove the excess I have on the waist and connect the lines properly. I'll go ahead now and cut out my princess dart. I also went ahead to close the darts just as you can see in the image by the side. Next, I placed the side pattern on an extra paper so I could add the allowance I took. So I just went up by 1 inch. Then I connected it to the chest line and then I'll just cut that out. Now for the back pattern paper, I've taken 1 inch for the zipper allowance, and then at the next side I'll come by the same 3.5 inches. I'll come down by 1 inch here and connect my shoulder slants just like I did at the front. I've also labeled the right side and then the left at the other side. I'll come in at the right by 1 inch and then I'll divide my shoulder by 2 just like I did at the front, and I'll mark that. Now please note, for the back piece, I think I should have taken this measurement on the left for the neck, but then again it doesn't really matter because when you're placing it on your fabric you can determine which side you want it to face. There will be more explanation of that in the cutting and sewing tutorial. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark the dart line. So I just marked that on the waist, the chest line, and then at the top, and I'm just going to mark a straight line through that. I'll take 0.5 inches on both sides. I came down by about 4.5 inches and then connected it like so. Next, I'll be marking my round waist divided by 4 plus the 1 inch dart allowance I took, and then I'll be marking the bust point plus that allowance I took as well, and I'll just connect that with my curved ruler. To avoid any zipper bulge, I'm going to come down here by 6.5 inches, and at the underbust I'll go in by 0.5 and on the waist as well, and I'll just connect it like you see. Next, I'll open this up and I'm going to divide it into 2 separate pieces. Having done that, I'll fold in the zipper allowance at both sides. Next, I'll arrange them side by side and I'll just tape it down like this. Then I'll measure downward. I'll measure 7 inches for the back neck depth. I'll connect it with my ruler like this, and I'll go ahead and cut it out. Now I'm cutting it out, making sure that the zipper allowance at the back aligns, and then when I bring it out, this is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and cut the armhole for the back. I'll just draw that and cut it out. Make sure that when you're cutting the shoulder points, you open it up. Now for the back dart, I'll just be extending it to the top there, and then I'll be cutting that out as well. Now I'll be taking the bust dart at the back as well. I'll just come down by 1 inch like I did at the front, and I'll be hiding the mistake I made earlier just by taping that, and then I'll go ahead to cut out this bust dart and conceal it with my tape just like I did at the front. I'll be moving on to the skirt piece, and from the 15 inches waist length that I measured, I'm just going to be taking the rest of the body measurements. That will be the hip length, the knee length, the full length, and then I'll be adding 1 inch allowance, which I'll be using to turn it in with the lining. I'll go ahead and mark the horizontal measurements, like the round waist divided by 4, same for the hip, and as the knee, I'll be marking the same round hip divided by 4, but I'll go in by 1 inch. I do not want this to be too tight, so I'll just go in by 1 inch. You can go in by more, and then I'll mark the same thing at the full length of the skirt, and I'll go ahead and connect it with my ruler. Now I'll take the dart length on the skirt piece as well. I'll go out by 0.5 inches on both sides. I'll come up by about 5 inches, and then I'll connect this. I'll add back the dart allowance that I took, and I'll just connect that as well. Next, I'll be extending the dart to the hem of the skirt, and then I'll open it up. Now I've transferred the measurements I had on the other side as well, and now I'll be creating the slit design that you saw in the picture. Now I want the slit to be on the same side as the curve on the neckline, so I just ensured that it was on the same side, and then I'll go ahead to extend from the middle point of the skirt. I'll just extend the slit line all the way down, and now from the hem I'll come down by about 5 inches. I don't want this to be too long, so I just came down by 5 inches, and I'll come in by 1 inch, and I'll connect that with my curved ruler inward, just as you see me do, to the length of the slit that I want. I'll also be curving it in at this other side, but here I'm going to make sure that I do not have any sharp edges, because I don't want any sharp ends to be at this point, so I'll just go ahead and curve it in with my ruler. I'll also connect this other point to the other side of the skirt piece. I'll go ahead now and cut this out. Please, if you've enjoyed the video so far, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well, so you can see more of our videos and the sewing tutorial of this beautiful design as well. Thank you so much. Now in the next tutorial video, I used the skirt front piece to cut the back piece, so please do well to watch that video. Thank you so much for staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to see more.